Picture this. It's 2:47 a.m. and you're jolted awake by crushing chest pain. Your heart is pounding so hard it feels like it might burst through your ribs. You can't catch your breath. Your left arm tingles with terrifying numbness. You're drenched in cold sweat, gripping your chest, wondering if these are your final moments. This terrifying scenario is happening to thousands of seniors every single night across America. What if I told you that 40% of heart attacks occur between midnight and 6 a.m., and most victims never see the warning signs coming? But here's what's truly shocking. It's not age that's triggering these heart problems. It's 3 simple nighttime mistakes you're making without realizing it. I'm going to reveal these 3 deadly nighttime mistakes in countdown fashion, starting with the 3rd most dangerous and building to the most lethal one that 8 out of 10 seniors do every single night. Right now, millions of seniors are unknowingly turning their bedrooms into cardiac danger zones. They think they're just going to sleep, but they're actually creating the perfect storm for nighttime heart attacks. Their blood pressure spikes, their heart rhythm becomes erratic, and their cardiovascular system goes into crisis mode for 6 to 8 hours straight. But here's the hope that should get you excited. Unlike genetic heart disease, the heart problems caused by these nighttime mistakes are completely preventable and often reversible. I've witnessed seniors transform their heart health within just weeks of fixing these simple but deadly habits. Your heart beats over 100,000 times every single day. During sleep, it finally gets a chance to slow down and recover. But these 3 mistakes force your heart to work overtime when it should be resting, gradually wearing it down until one night it simply can't take the strain anymore. The most terrifying part is how these mistakes compound each other. One mistake raises your blood pressure, another restricts your breathing and oxygen flow. The third floods your system with stress hormones. Together, they create a deadly combination that can trigger a heart attack without warning. But unlike other heart attack risk factors that develop over decades, these nighttime mistakes can be fixed immediately. The moment you stop making them, your heart begins to heal. Within days, your blood pressure starts to normalize. Within weeks, your heart rhythm stabilizes. Every night when you go to bed, you're making a choice. You can either create an environment that protects your heart and promotes healing, or you can unknowingly set up conditions that push your cardiovascular system to the breaking point. Let's start with mistake number 3, eating heavy meals within 3 hours of bedtime. This might seem innocent, but it's turning your digestive system into a cardiac time bomb every single night. When you eat a large meal close to bedtime, you're forcing your heart to work double duty when it should be resting and recovering. Here's what most people don't understand about digestion and heart health. When you eat, your body redirects massive amounts of blood to your digestive system to break down food and absorb nutrients. Your heart has to pump harder and faster to supply this increased blood flow while still maintaining circulation to the rest of your body. During the day, this extra work isn't usually a problem because you're upright, moving around, and your cardiovascular system is operating at full capacity. But when you eat a heavy meal and then lie down to sleep, you're creating a perfect storm of cardiac stress. First, Lying flat makes it harder for your heart to pump blood against gravity. Second, your digestive system is demanding extra blood flow right when your heart is trying to slow down for the night. Third, certain foods can trigger the release of stress hormones that raise your blood pressure and heart rate. But here's the most dangerous part. Late-night eating can cause your blood sugar to spike and crash during sleep, triggering the release of adrenaline and other stress hormones that force your heart into overdrive in the middle of the night. Let me tell you Margaret's story. Margaret is 73 and had been experiencing mysterious chest pains and heart palpitations that always seemed to happen around 2 or 3 a.m. She'd wake up with her heart racing, feeling short of breath, and convinced she was having a heart attack. But when she went to the emergency room, all her tests came back normal. Margaret's cardiologist couldn't find anything wrong with her heart, and she started to think she was going crazy. The nighttime episodes were becoming more frequent and more severe. She was afraid to go to sleep, worried that she might not wake up. Then Margaret's daughter noticed something. The worst episodes always happened on nights when Margaret had eaten her largest meal of the day right before bed. Margaret loved to have a big dinner around 8 p.m. and then go to sleep by 9:30 p.m. When you eat a heavy meal close to bedtime, several dangerous things happen to your cardiovascular system. Your heart rate increases to pump extra blood to your digestive organs. Your blood pressure rises as your heart works harder. Your body releases insulin to handle the spike in blood sugar, which can cause dangerous fluctuations during sleep. Margaret decided to make one simple change. She moved her dinner to 6 p.m. and made sure to finish eating by 7 p.m., giving her digestive system at least 2.5 hours to process the food before bedtime. She also started having lighter dinners and saving her heavier meals for lunch. The results were immediate and dramatic. Within just 3 nights, Margaret's nighttime chest pains and palpitations stopped completely. Within 2 weeks, she was sleeping peacefully through the night without any cardiac symptoms. The fix for mistake number 3. Stop eating at least 3 hours before bedtime and make your evening meal the lightest meal of the day. Your heart needs those nighttime hours to slow down, repair itself, and prepare for the next day. Now let's move to mistake number 2. Sleeping in positions that restrict breathing and increase pressure on your heart. This mistake is silently suffocating your heart every single night. When you sleep in positions that compress your chest, restrict your breathing, or put pressure on your cardiovascular system, you're depriving your heart of the oxygen it desperately needs while forcing it to work harder than ever. Many seniors develop sleeping positions that feel comfortable but are actually devastating for heart health. They sleep on their stomach, which compresses their chest and makes it harder to breathe deeply. They sleep curled up in a tight ball, which restricts lung expansion and reduces oxygen flow. They use too many pillows, which can compress their airways and reduce breathing quality. Your heart relies on a steady supply of oxygen-rich blood to function properly. During sleep, your breathing naturally slows down and your heart rate decreases. But if your sleeping position is restricting your breathing or compressing your chest, your heart doesn't get the oxygen it needs and has to work much harder to pump blood through compressed vessels. One of the most dangerous sleeping positions for heart health is sleeping on your left side with your arm tucked under your body. This position can compress the major blood vessels that return blood to your heart, forcing your heart to work harder to maintain circulation. It can also compress nerves that help regulate your heart rhythm, potentially triggering dangerous arrhythmias. Sleeping on your stomach is equally dangerous because it compresses your chest and restricts the movement of your diaphragm. This reduces the amount of oxygen you take in with each breath and forces your heart to pump faster to deliver oxygen to your organs. Let me tell you Robert's story. Robert is 68 and started waking up every night around 3 a.m. with severe shortness of breath and chest tightness. He'd have to sit up on the edge of his bed, gasping for air, feeling like he was suffocating. His wife was terrified and insisted he see a cardiologist immediately. Robert underwent extensive cardiac testing, including stress tests, echocardiograms, and even a cardiac catheterization. But his heart appeared to be healthy. His doctors were puzzled by his symptoms and suggested it might be anxiety or sleep apnea. But Robert's daughter, who's a respiratory therapist, noticed something important. Robert always slept curled up in a tight fetal position on his left side with his arm tucked under his body. This position was compressing his chest, restricting his lung capacity, and putting pressure on his heart. When you sleep in positions that restrict breathing, your oxygen levels drop during the night. Your heart responds by beating faster and working harder to deliver oxygen to your organs. This increased workload during what should be rest time gradually wears down your cardiovascular system. Robert learned about proper sleep positioning for heart health and made a simple but life-saving change. He started sleeping on his back with his head slightly elevated and his arms at his sides. When he did sleep on his side, he made sure to keep his chest open and his breathing unrestricted. The transformation was remarkable. Within 1 week, Robert's nighttime breathing episodes stopped completely. Within a month, he was sleeping peacefully through the night, with no chest tightness or shortness of breath. The fix for mistake number 2. Sleep on your back with your head slightly elevated, or on your right side with your chest open. Never sleep on your stomach, and avoid tucking your arms under your body. If this is surprising you, please hit the like button so YouTube shows this life-saving info to other seniors. Now we come to mistake number 1, the most deadly and most common nighttime habit that's triggering heart attacks in seniors across America. This mistake is so widespread that 8 out of 10 seniors do it every single night, and it's responsible for more nighttime cardiac events than any other single factor. Mistake number 1. Going to bed stressed, anxious, or dehydrated. This might shock you because stress and dehydration seem like separate issues, but they work together to create a perfect storm of cardiac danger during sleep. When you go to bed with high stress levels, your body is flooded with cortisol, adrenaline, and other stress hormones that keep your heart rate elevated and your blood pressure dangerously high. Add dehydration to the mix, and you've created a recipe for disaster. When you're dehydrated, your blood becomes thick and difficult to pump. Your heart has to work much harder to circulate this viscous blood through your system. Your blood pressure rises even higher, and your risk of blood clots increases dramatically. But here's what makes this combination so deadly. stress hormones and dehydration both peak during the early morning hours, typically between 2 a.m. and 6 a.m. This is exactly when most fatal heart attacks occur, and it's not a coincidence. Chronic stress keeps your cardiovascular system in a constant state of fight or flight, even during sleep. Instead of your heart rate slowing down and your blood pressure dropping during rest, they remain elevated all night long. This constant strain gradually weakens your heart and makes it more susceptible to sudden cardiac events. Dehydration compounds this problem by making your blood sticky and prone to clotting. It also reduces your blood volume, forcing your heart to pump faster to maintain circulation. The combination of stress hormones and thick blood creates the perfect conditions for a heart attack or stroke. Many seniors go to bed carrying the weight of the world on their shoulders. They worry about their health, their finances, their family members, their future. They lie awake at night with their minds racing, their bodies tense, and their hearts working overtime to deal with the flood of stress hormones. At the same time, many seniors avoid drinking fluids in the evening because they don't want to wake up multiple times during the night to use the bathroom. They think they're being smart by preventing sleep disruptions, but they're actually creating a dangerous state of dehydration. Let me tell you Sarah's story. Sarah is 71 and had been experiencing increasing anxiety about her finances, her health, and her family. Her husband had passed away 2 years earlier, and she was struggling to manage everything on her own. Sarah would lie awake at night worrying about paying her medical bills, about her children who lived far away, about what would happen if she got sick. Her mind would race with worst-case scenarios, and even when she did fall asleep, she'd wake up multiple times with her heart pounding. Sarah also had developed a habit of avoiding fluids after about 4 p.m. because she didn't want to wake up during the night to use the bathroom. She thought she was being practical, but she was usually dehydrated by bedtime. One night, Sarah woke up at 3 a.m. with crushing chest pain, severe shortness of breath, and pain radiating down her left arm. She was rushed to the hospital and diagnosed with a heart attack. The cardiologist told her she was lucky to survive. What Sarah didn't realize was that her nightly routine of going to bed stressed and dehydrated was slowly killing her heart. The combination of stress hormones and thick, dehydrated blood had created a clot that blocked one of her coronary arteries. When you go to bed stressed, your body continues to produce stress hormones throughout the night. These hormones raise your blood pressure, increase your heart rate, make your blood more likely to clot, and interfere with your sleep quality. Dehydration makes this situation even more dangerous. When you're dehydrated, your blood becomes concentrated and thick. This viscous blood is much harder for your heart to pump and much more likely to form dangerous clots. After her heart attack, Sarah developed a new bedtime routine focused on calming her mind and properly hydrating her body. Every night, she drinks a full glass of water about 2 hours before bed. She practices 10 minutes of deep breathing exercises to help her body transition from stress mode to rest mode. She keeps a notepad by her bed to write down any worries so she can address them the next day. Sarah also created a worry-free bedroom. She removed all work materials and stressful items from her bedroom. She started reading calming books before bed instead of watching the news. The results have been life-changing. Sarah's blood pressure normalized, her sleep quality improved dramatically, and she hasn't had any cardiac symptoms since implementing her new routine. The fix for mistake number 1: drink 8 to 12 ounces of water about 2 hours before bed. Develop a stress reduction routine like deep breathing or gentle stretching. Create a worry-free bedroom environment and write down concerns to address tomorrow. The transformation in your heart health can begin immediately. The moment you start going to bed properly hydrated and stress-free, your heart begins to experience true rest and recovery. Within days, your nighttime blood pressure and heart rate will start to normalize. Within weeks, your overall cardiovascular health will improve dramatically. Here's the hope I want you to hold on to. Your heart is incredibly resilient and capable of healing when given the right conditions. Every night that you avoid these 3 deadly mistakes, you're giving your heart the gift of true rest and recovery instead of 8 hours of stress and strain. The improvements can be immediate and dramatic. People who fix these nighttime mistakes often notice better sleep quality, more energy during the day, reduced chest pain and palpitations, and improved breathing within just a few weeks. Your heart beats over 100,000 times every single day, working tirelessly to keep you alive. It deserves those nighttime hours to slow down, repair itself, and prepare for another day of faithful service. Let me recap these 3 deadly mistakes and their life-saving fixes. Mistake number 3 was eating heavy meals within 3 hours of bedtime. Margaret's terrifying nighttime chest pains and palpitations disappeared completely when she moved her dinner earlier and made her evening meals lighter. Mistake number 2 was sleeping in positions that restrict breathing and compress the heart. Robert's severe shortness of breath and chest tightness vanished when he changed his sleep position to keep his chest open and his breathing unrestricted. Mistake number 1 was going to bed stressed and dehydrated. Sarah survived a heart attack and transformed her cardiac health by developing a bedtime routine that reduced stress and ensured proper hydration. Each of these seniors thought their heart problems were inevitable consequences of aging, but they discovered that simple changes to their nighttime routines could literally save their lives. The most important thing to remember is that every single night matters. Each time you go to bed, you're either protecting your heart or putting it at risk. You're either creating conditions that promote healing and strength or setting up a perfect storm for cardiac disaster. If this video has opened your eyes to how your nighttime habits might be affecting your heart health, please subscribe for more practical senior health tips that protect your independence and longevity. Which mistake do you think you've been making? Have you experienced any nighttime heart symptoms like chest pain, palpitations, or shortness of breath? Your experience could be valuable to other viewers facing similar challenges. Share this video with any friends, family members, or loved ones over 60. This information could literally be the difference between someone living a long, healthy life or becoming another tragic statistic of preventable heart disease. Don't let another night put your heart at risk. Starting tonight, give your heart the gift of proper nutrition timing, optimal sleep positioning, and stress-free hydration. Your heart will thank you with years of faithful service. Remember, heart attacks don't have to be inevitable. With the right nighttime habits, you can dramatically reduce your risk and enjoy decades more of active, independent living. Your heart is counting on the choices you make tonight. Choose wisely, sleep heart healthy, and wake up tomorrow morning with a cardiovascular system that's stronger, healthier, and ready to carry you through many more years of life.